Alright, hey everyone, this is my RSG guide for beginners. So if you're a beginner and you're looking to run this category, this is basically the video for you because I'm not gonna obviously go over everything I can think of because that would be way too overwhelming. I could literally talk for like hours about this category, but I'm just gonna go over the basics that's gonna make you really good. Okay, there's a couple things I need to talk about. I'm going to be doing 1.7. You can run other versions. Other versions are fine. And other versions can also be really fast. But 1.7 is what we think is the theoretical fastest version as of now. So I think 1.7 is just the best version to speedrun on. And it's really easy version. Like, it's easy to understand. I don't know. I can't talk about the version differences, I guess. So 1.6 and below have no savannas and sprint button. That's really bad because savannas are really good. I'll talk about savannas in a second. 1.9 and above has a new stronghold. Like, okay, the stronghold is way farther. They made the stronghold way farther from spawn, so it's really not good because it takes so long to get to the stronghold. New combat's also slow. The combat in newer versions is kind of obnoxious. So you may be wondering, so why not 1.8? What's so bad about 1.8? And honestly, 1.8 is not that bad. There's like very, very minor differences between 1.7. I can list a lot. I guess I can go over them, right? So in 1.8, there's different mob AI. Enderman AI is way easier to deal with 1.7, and that's kind of like the biggest thing. Also, there's no wool in temples. In 1.8, they changed that to clay. Oh yeah, another thing that's really important is that 1.7, specifically like 1.7.2 loads really, really fast. Like, can reset worlds like much faster even than like 1.7.10. It's also something to like know if you want to grind a lot, then 1.7 is really good for resetting. If you care about skins, like if you really want your skin, you can go to 1.7.10. You can do that. The biggest benefit for 1.8 is that sheep drop mutton, so you have food from sheep. That's actually a really, really big thing for 1.8. If you're doing 1.8, it's for that reason alone. It's for the mutton. Surface cave spawn in 1.8, they spawn in deserts. That's a pretty bad thing because those, like, if mobs spawn in deserts, those are mobs you can't see. So when you're in the night, you want to be able to see every mob that spawns, and the cave spawns in 1.8 is not good. Also, chicken jockeys were added in 1.7.4. Keep that in mind. That could be a good thing or a bad thing because, you know, chickens give feathers, but they're also kind of an annoying mob to deal with. If you want to look at the rules on the leaderboard, you know, it's time attack timing if you want to know what that is. I guess I can explain. Time attack means you can pause the timer whenever you want. You can like pause the run and pause the timer. If you want to time your runs, I'd suggest live split. There's plenty of live split tutorials on how to set that up. And if you're doing RSG, you don't need splits at all, so you don't even have to worry about splits if you want to do RSG. I guess we should just go over the first day. So first day is really, really important. It's like the busiest day. First thing that you should do in RSG is get wood. Let's say we spawn here, right? Let's just say theoretically we spawned here. The first thing you want to get always is wood. Get around 4 to 5 wood. Also, the first thing I think you should rush when you do RSG is get stone tools. Stone tools are really, really good. They're easy to get. I think stone tools in this version specifically are really good. They're like barely worse than iron. So you want to get a stone sword, a stone axe, a stone pickaxe, you know, stone shovel, whatever. You want to get all these. And what you can do, this is what I used to do, and this is what Japanese runners did, because I copied the Japanese runners. They got like multiple things of items. So what I used to do is get 2 stone pickaxes, 3 stone shovels, 3 stone swords. And the only problem with stone tools is that they break easily. That's why getting like multiple is good. So you want to look out for wool and chicken for feathers and wool. You're gonna need a lot of wood. Like, I would suggest getting like a stack of wood. So to kill the dragon, you need beds and you need arrows and a bow. So don't worry about the bow now, but the thing you need to worry about, like look for in the first day, is wool and feathers. And then you want food. You can get food like literally any way you want. I'd suggest, like, this is a village, right? So we have potatoes, you know, chicken drop food, keep that in mind. That's really useful. Get pigs, cows. If you have to, get raw flesh from a temple. So yeah, the thing that's really, really important in this category in the first day, the thing that you need is iron. So one thing you can do is look for caves. Caves spawn like on the overworld. Keep in mind in this version they don't spawn in deserts. What you can do, this is what I do sometimes, is just dig straight down. And headphones are your best friend. Like, seriously, listen for a bat, listen for anything, listen for lava, water, bat, zombie, skeleton, mobs, anything. And the minimum iron is 6. Okay, so the minimum iron you want to get is 6. You want an iron bucket, shears, and you want flint steel. Now, these are very, very, very useful items, each one of them. And I suggest getting all of them, especially if you're a beginner. Unfortunately, you need to reset for Savannah or Desert. Savannah and Desert, or Desert, is meta in this category. You need to reset for these. They're super important. You want deserts for mobs, so you want to spot the desert. If you see a Savannah, that's good, but you also want to make sure there's a Savannah. You want to find the Savannah. So when you're looking for a desert or a savanna, this is a fake desert. Essentially, mesas in this I don't know if this is still a thing in newer versions, it might be, but see how it says desert? So this is technically a desert. There's a bug where small deserts like this can spawn next to mesas. I don't know why, but just know that that's a thing that occurs. Alright, so you're gonna need wood, so let's just pretend we got wood, like I said earlier. So let's just pretend I have 6 iron, right? Oh yeah, you need a furnace. When you get your tools, make sure you get a furnace. 6 iron, let's say we got 6 iron. Like I said, 6 is the minimum. So you need a bucket and shears and then a flint and steel. Let's see. Like these are OP items. These items, these are game changing items. So essentially, what our shears are good for is you can shear sheep and also break wool, so you can break wool off of the temple. Temples are really useful, especially in this version, because they have wool. So if you can't find any sheep, then you'll find a temple. I'll show a temple off in a second. Also, the fastest way to get blocks in this game, you're gonna need blocks, like lots of blocks is really useful. Especially if you're a beginner, I'd recommend getting a lot of blocks. So, and you can be really creative with blocks. So I'm gonna get a lot of blocks. And I think oak trees are the best way to get blocks. Let's say if I try to get from acacia, it's just not gonna happen. And this is one of the reasons why Savannah's so good. There's so many things here, right? There's so many early game stuff that's like right here. We got sheep, you know, there's lava, there's lots of leaves, you know, like we can just get an oak tree. There's trees. Trees are really important because you're gonna need lots of wood. Yeah, and savannas have villages. Like savannas are just really good. Make sure you get lots of blocks. Even wood, like get lots of wood. It's not really obvious. I would say get like a stack of wood if you're a beginner. So flint and steel is really good because you can light animals on fire and then they'll drop the cooked version of the food. So that theoretically saves around 10 seconds because it takes 10 seconds to cook food, which is a lot of time save. Like it's good time save. You don't have to do that for like every mob. You can actually cook food in the nether. We'll see that when we get to the nether. It's really convenient. This is really good that this is in the game. The thing about this category is that sprint jumping is the fastest way to move in Minecraft, but the problem with sprint jumping is that a lot of hunger gets drained really quickly. So you want to get lots of food if you plan on like sprint jumping a lot. Why do I kill most mobs with my axe? So the reason why I kill mobs with the axe is because I save durability on my sword. So, and it's the same amount of hits with the stone axe, so it's not like I'm wasting time by using my stone axe. You don't really have to worry about that too much if you're a beginner. And the reason why we have a bucket is because we can make an nether portal with just a bucket. Just 1 water, you can make another portal, which is insane. That's pretty OP. Usually you'd have to get 3 diamonds, mine 10 obsidian, and that's really slow. If you have a lava pool, flint and steel, you have access to the nether pretty much, which is really nice. And also make sure you get gravel. When you mine gravel, there's a 10% chance that it drops flint. So you want to get lots of gravel, and then we'll be mining it later when there's downtime in the run. And there's only downtime in pretty much one part of the run, so that's really convenient that there's a place where we can mine gravel. Make sure you have feathers and flint. If you don't find them on the first day, do not worry. It's fine. You can find them later. You only need the wool and feathers by the end of the run. Like before you enter the end. How many feathers do you need? So it entirely depends on your skill. I would say get like a stack of arrows, which is like 16 feathers and 16 flint, I think. No less than 5. That's really risky. Anything less than 5 is super risky. I'd suggest at least 5, but like try and get like 16 feathers. A stack of arrows is like, it's kind of overkill, but the thing is, if you run out of arrows, that's really bad. If you have no arrows, then it's like GG. Make sure as a beginner you get lots of arrows so you can actually finish your run. And also suggest getting a lot of beds. Get like 7 beds, which is like 21 wool. Get like 21 wool. I'd recommend like at least like 18 wool for a beginner. So now we're going to talk about mob AI. So now it's the nighttime. I'm going to basically talk about mob AI for a second. So Enderman, if you look at them, look at their torso. I see so many people. Look at their head. You want to look at their body, don't look at their heads. And you want to make a hole like this. You place 2 like that, and then 1 above you. And now this doesn't entirely protect you from mobs. Specifically, zombies have really bad hitboxes, so zombies can be a problem. I dug down 1 block, and that pretty much protects you, except from baby zombies. Baby zombies are the worst. Assuming there's no baby zombies, this is really nice. You see the creeper can't really blow up. So I can kill the creeper, and then we can kill the enderman. Stop teleporting. 2 pearls, pog you. Alright, so zombies are the interesting one. Okay, so zombies can hit you. I don't know if, yeah, see, zombies can hit you. That's really bad. Zombies' hitboxes are awful. So there's a way to counter that. So you dig down, and then you look towards where you would build it, like this side of it, and then you just dig 3 like that, and then your AI goes like this, and then they can't hurt you. This is really important if you're not doing tower. If you're hiding from the Enderman like this, and they come at you like this, then they can't get you. And that's how you counter zombies. The same thing works for skeletons. So there's a skeleton, let's do this. I dig down, he can't really hit me. But if I do this, then he goes in the hole. Sometimes you need to like jump to like reset their AI. Although he can still hit me, but it's no problem because I can just block it off. And this is why blocks are really important, is because you can be so creative with blocks. Like blocks are just so OP. Being able to place blocks like whenever you want is like, it allows for so many possibilities. Alright, there's also a spider. The spider, they can hit you, but if you dig down, they can't hit you. Digging down is OP. It's also way easier to get crits. So if you didn't know, when you fall, like when you're falling and you hit something, you see the particles, that's a critical hit, which does a lot more damage. So it's easier to do crits if you're digging one down. So an example, zombies do this. Place that, cause yeah, and then do that. So this is a kind of a problem with looking at Enderman, is that they can teleport right on you. If you look at them, you can teleport right on me. Okay, he didn't teleport on me, which is good. So you can like, if you keep them at a distance, they won't teleport on me and hurt me, right? This is really good. I'm like kiting it. Don't know what kiting means, it's alright. Don't worry about it. You see how he's not teleporting me? Because the Enderman's walking to me. But if I go far enough, the Enderman will stop walking. See? And then they can teleport me. That sucks. You never want to see an Enderman just standing still, because that means the Enderman's going to teleport on you. See, he's walking towards me, so I can, not get hit by him. See how they're standing still? That's really bad. They could teleport on me. Thankfully they did not, and now they're all walking. One more thing. Make sure your hotbar is good. You always want your sword, shovel, flint, steel, and blocks, food, water. So you may be asking, okay, why do you have a flint steel? If we see a creeper, you can actually light creepers on fire. I'm pretty sure this was added in 1.7. You wouldn't be able to do this if they didn't add this in this version. So see, bam. Dude, I got a creeper egg. So you see that? That's pretty cool. There's also witches. Witches are just annoying. Either ignore witches or kill them as fast as possible, because you do not want them to poison you or make you slow or damage you. And also you want to make sure that you kill spiders for string. You need 3 string. Keep that in mind. You're gonna want 3 string for that bow. The 3 things that you really need: bow, arrows, beds. Bows, arrows, beds. That's how you kill the ender dragon, right? Those are the 3 things, the trifecta to kill the dragon. So make sure you don't miss any of those things. Before you enter the end, those are the 3 things you look for. One more thing, the way to deal with Enderman, if there's an Enderman on you, there's 2 ways you can deal with them to like get them away from you. So say I'm like on low health, that's like, I guess we can actually get damaged here. I mean, don't kill me. I'm dead. Okay, this is a bad situation, right? This is really bad. Place water, but bam. Endermen teleport away from you whenever you have water on them, and also they de-aggro, so the Enderman's not aggro at all, which is really nice. This only works 1.7. You can also punch their torso. If you punch their torso, they'll teleport away. Although that doesn't de-aggro them, like obviously it didn't de-aggro the Enderman. It's just a good way to like get out of here. Like I need you to get away. So this is lava, so okay, I'm just gonna say that there's a lot of ways you can make a portal. I'll talk about the easy way. I'll tell you how I do it. I'll show how I do it, but I'll show you the easy way to do it. So what do you want to do? You make like a staircase, like that, and then you make 2 like that. So it has this shape, right? You want to make an L. So L, and then it doesn't matter which side. I'm pretty sure you just do that. And then you just fill in a portal like this. This is super easy to do. Anyone can do this. This is the beginner way. Just take away the water, put it in. You can put it anywhere you want. You don't really need it for the Nether. And then, yeah, that's how you do the portal. Beginner strat. I'm gonna show you the way I do it, though. So, okay, this is kind of complicated. You want to go up against the side, like the corner. So you see, this is like the corner of the portal, or the corner of the lava. So you want 4 blocks. So there's a block here, like underneath there's lava. Here, here, here. There's 4 blocks, right? Okay, that's really important. And then you want to get rid of any excess towards here. So you see how there's 2 right here? Like 2 lava things right here. You want to get rid of those. So you said how I said we need the 4 blocks to be lined up like this. So you want to put 1 block in the middle, doesn't matter which one. Any one works. And then you want to put water right next to it, but in the middle, whichever one wasn't the one you already did. And then you want to get rid of the leaf. And then you want to pick up the water. Alright, so you have this shape. Now, what you want to do is like, look, if you're on the left side of the corner, like if your corner's on the left side, you want to do this on the left side. But if you're in the right corner, you want to do this on the right side. But since we're on the left, we're going to do it on the left. So you want an upside down L. Let's pretend this isn't here. You want an upside down L like this. Like that, like facing that way. And then you want to place leaves. You see this, where this is? You want a leaf here and then one to the left. And then you place water here. And then you can just fill in everything. And then you can get rid of the water from there. Place the water here. You break the bottom 2 like that. You keep the water here and you break the bottom 2. And then you take lava, and you just place them down like that. It's pretty simple, really. And you can place the lava there, and that's pretty much it. Like, that's how you build it. Alright, so here's the nether. So right away, the nether spawn is scary because you can spawn anywhere in the nether. Alright, so this is what you should do when you spawn in the nether. Or if you go in the nether, I suggest having a lot of blocks. Let's say, for example, that I spawn here, right? And the only way I can go is over there. I need like, I don't know how wide this is, how many blocks this is, like 40 blocks or something. That's 40 blocks that I need to bridge over this. So you're gonna need lots of blocks when you enter the nether. And if you're a beginner, I suggest you get like 2 to 3 stacks of like leaves. Okay, so this is really important. You need to know where to go. Now, it's not really obvious, especially when you're a beginner, which way you should go. But generally, you want to go east or west, because your chances of finding a fortress will increase if you go east or west. So you need to know which way you're going without F3. If you're not using F3, you gotta know which way you're going. The easiest way to do this without F3 is dig a block, and I guess I can show this in paint. So when you break a block, there's like a Y shape, like this. See the Y? How there's like 2 cracks going one way, and there's 1 crack going another way. That's a Y. This is north. This is east. I don't know why that's not fully uppercase. You know what? West and east are loud. North and south, they chill. They don't yell. This only works if you look at the top of the block. Or so if I look on the sides of the block, you see how like that doesn't really apply, like the sides of the block. But if you look on the top of the block, you see how that's north. So those 2 lines are going north. So yep, that's north. And you can do this on pretty much any block. Yeah, that's the easiest way to do it without F3. And you can use that to, you know which way you're going. Why is it faster to go east-west? It's the way that the fortresses generate. I'm not going to really talk about too much about that, because honestly, I don't even know that much. If you go east or west, it just maximizes your chances of finding a fortress. So we're going, I guess, east. Oh, hey, and there's a fortress, see? It always works. Go east or west, I promise. Make sure you look up. I see lots of people, including myself back in the day when I was a noob, seeing lots of people like, oh, how do I get there? Just look up. Like, honestly, like, a lot of the solutions to, like, getting somewhere in the nether is just look up. Nobody looks up. Just look up. If you're trying to get somewhere, just look up. So I guess I'll talk about this for a second. There's a lot of ways, like I said, there's a lot of ways you can spawn in the nether. You can spawn in a cave. If you're unlucky enough, you can actually spawn under the lava. You have to like find a way out to get above the lava. That's really bad. You can also spawn in the sky, which is not good. If you spawn in a cave, you just want to hear ghast, or you want to know, if you see bedrock like below or above, that's obviously the top of the nether or the bottom. So if you know you're at the bottom of the nether, go up. If you know you're in the top of the nether, go down. And you generally just want to listen for guests. So I guess we'll talk about fortresses now. Fortresses are kind of complicated, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot to talk about here. There's two parts of the fortresses. So there's the bad part, and by bad part, I typically mean the part that where there's no blaze spawner. There's a spot where there's no blaze spawners, and there's a spot where there are blaze spawners. So right now I'm in the part where there's gonna be no blaze spawners. So how do I find where to get good? Where are the spawners, yo? Where do I go? So there's a room that connects the two parts of the fortresses. It's called the lava well room, or the well room, which just has one lava in it, and that indicates the connection of the fortresses. You need to find that room, and honestly it's kind of just RNG, but the more you do this category, the more your intuition just becomes better. Like, just notice patterns more, but that's kind of, you know, just look for the well. That's all you gotta do. One thing I forgot to mention, actually, is really important, is place blocks, like, to know where you went. This is what I do. This is my method. You can do whatever method you want, but if I've been somewhere, I know there's nothing here, right? I know this is nothing for me. Like, I guess I could take the gold, but this is nothing. There's no spawner here. It's nothing. So what I do is place a block to indicate that I've been there. But let's say this is where I came from. I know I've come from here. If I want to get back to the overworld, I know that I have to go over here. So I place a block to the side to indicate this is where I came from. A block in the middle indicates I've been there and nothing's there. And this indicates that that's where I go back. That's kind of what I do. You can do whatever you want to do, but there's nothing here. So I place a block there and I don't go there ever again. Let's say I want to come back to the overworld, to my portal. I know which way to go because there's a block on the side. In fortresses, chests can spawn in the bad part where no blaze spawners are. I guess the way that you tell if it's the bad part of the fortress, if there's fences like this to the side. If it's like closed, there's no opening. I'm like in a closed part of the fortress. So there's golden chest plates. Golden chest plates are the only armor that spawns. There's also, I mean, horse armor, but that's not relevant to the speedrun really. There's iron, there's gold, there's diamonds, there's flint and steel. Gold armor is the only armor that spawns. So keep in mind, see diamonds. So we found the well room, and you see that it connects the two fortresses, which is really nice. So you want to look for this room. If you're in the bad part of the fortress, look for this room. There's also another way to know that this room is here. So you see like how this layout, there's parts of the fortress. You see like this is the nether wart room, right? You see how like if you go on the top, there's like this layout, kind of like the fence and the brick, and there's an opening to the roof of this place. And you see that this place is really similar to that. Like the roof is very, very similar, but it doesn't have this. This is how you know this is the lava well room. If you see this layout, but there's no opening, that's how I know this is a lava well room. You see how there's an opening here? This is how I know it's a nether wart room. So you know this is the lava well room if there's no opening. And this is really, really rare, and you honestly don't have to worry about this, but you see this room? A good part of the fortress, this is a bug in the game. A good part of the fortress can spawn next to this room. You see how the good part of the fortress, like it's not closed off? You see it's like open. I know we're next to like netherrack, but it's, you know, open. There's no fences or anything. That can actually spawn next to this room. For some reason, it's a bug in the code, but this could be open fortress right here. Just because of this room. This room has a property where it can spawn a good part of the fortress. And that's really, really rare, so you don't have to worry about that usually. So anyway, so blaze spawners are called thrones. There's two thrones in a fortress. This is one of them, so there's at least one more. There's no less, no more, just there's always two blaze spawners that spawn in a fortress. I don't know if I'm able to find the other one. I don't know if it matters that much. We found it. It doesn't matter. You find one. Just keep in mind that there's two. So even in a small bud fortress, you have two thrones? Yes. Exactly. As far as I know, yes. Okay, so spawners, if you're next to a spawner, it will have a timer on the blaze spawner. So every 10 to 40 seconds, it spawns 1 to 4 blazes. Keep in mind that if 10 seconds happens, that 4 blazes could spawn, and that's bad. Okay, so you see 2 there? That was like, what, 20 seconds or something, and you saw 2 spawn? So it's 1 to 4 blazes spawn every 10 to 40 seconds. So you can either get really, really lucky or really, really unlucky with that. Okay, so how we make a farm. You want to make sure that you make a farm. So this is really bad, right? But if I get blocks, and then I do this. By the way, this is for an unexposed spawner, so There's a difference between unexposed spawners and exposed spawners. I'll talk about exposed spawners in a second. But you can look straight up and then do that. Make sure these aren't like leaves or wood because they can burn. So this is important. You see how blazes have fire on them? In this version, if blazes are on fire, that means they're aggro on you. And if blazes are aggro at you, they'll come towards you. So these blazes are kind of like slowly coming towards me. That's how the farm works. See, they're aggro, so they're slowly going to come towards me. Stay back a bit and they'll come towards you. But if they're aggro, you should kind of be scared because that means they'll shoot 3 fireballs at you. It takes like a few seconds. See, it takes like a few seconds before they do a fireball at you. See, they're not doing a fireball. It's like 5 seconds before they fireball. They're going to fireball me now. And then there's like, after 3 fireballs, they don't fireball you for like a good period of time. So you can honestly just bait that out. Like, just bait out 3 fireballs. You can just do 2 block strat. I do this now for world record attempts where I just place 2 blocks like this. And then I bait them, and then I have them aggro like this. You can also place a 3rd block here if you want. Okay, so remember when I said earlier that you need to mine gravel for flint to get flint for arrows? Well, this is where you do it. Because blazes take time to spawn, so you're optimizing time by mining gravel for flint here while you're waiting blazes to spawn. And this is why I kind of made this block open. It's faster to place blocks than break blocks. So if I broke this block and then placed gravel there, that would take a lot more time than placing a block here and then making it like an L shape like this. And the only reason why you want an open block like this is so you can easily just mine that and then get up there. This is a very easy way to like get up to the blazes if you like have to. That's why we have like an open block. You can do this on the right. I think you do that. Actually, I think you do this on the left. I think blazes tend to go to the left. So I think you actually want to do this on the left. I think blazes tend to go towards the left side. So actually do this on the left. It's just faster to like place a gravel there and then make it an L shape than like break in one of the nether racks, so you have to, or nether brick, so you go up. Alright, so now we'll do unexposed or exposed spawners. Sorry. Exposed spawners are the worst. Exposed spawners suck. So, okay, this is an exposed spawner. And honestly, you should just be careful with these. You want to respect the exposed spawner. So you can do something like this. If you want to do the same thing, you can do something like this. Like, you can like just close yourself off like this. And this is really good, like something like this. And then you can place like gravel here, then mine the gravel. But the problem is that blazes can actually get on top of it. So let's see if that happens. Okay, this blaze is above me. This is what happens sometimes. This is bad. The way to counter this is just simply just hit them back. Or like try to hit them back. And then they're down here. So, okay, blazes can spawn like all over the place. They can spawn like out of the thing because this game is well designed. They can spawn like outside of the throne. So just ignore them because like you can't really deal with them that easily. You just have to take the L on those blaze spawns if they like spawn outside of it. There's also this. There's a cool little trick with this. You can just look up and do this. If there's like a, I don't know what you would call this, a thingy here. I guess one thing I'll talk about is like getting back to the portal, which is kind of tricky. I really suggest you place blocks in the nether to like so know where you've come from. Like if you're a beginner, place a lot of blocks so you never get lost. You know, it's like the breadcrumb thing. You know, no one's gonna eat the breadcrumbs. You're in single player. Just place leaves, or I recommend leaves because leaves are really easy to get, or you can do wood. And the nether is really brutal as a beginner, so don't be scared to play safe. Like play as safe as you need to be. Just know honestly though, like blaze spawners can get crammed, really crammed. If you let blazes just chill, like if I don't kill these blazes for like a few minutes, there's gonna be a lot of blazes that spawn, and you don't want a lot of blazes. So make sure like you're killing the blazes. Make sure a lot don't spawn. Okay, and another thing you can do is if you have a furnace and you get lava from the lava pool, and you can use the lava to cook stuff in the furnace while you're killing blazes and mining gravel. Using a furnace is like usually a waste, so that's really good. Like doesn't waste any time because you gotta get back to the portal eventually. So, and a lava bucket or lava lasts for 10 minutes. So after the first night and after you're done with the nether, essentially, I don't think any beginner should go for first day nether at all. It's like not a good idea to do that. I really recommend if you're a beginner, please do nether on the second day. So know that this category is cycle based, so essentially literally like every 10 minutes is a new day or night. So the first 10 minutes is like day, the next 10 minutes to like 20 minutes is night. If you leave, say you have all the rods and you have a good amount of pearls by the end of the second day, you should be at about like 25 to like 30 minutes. If you don't have time to go in the stronghold and you know you still need pearls, just hunt enderman still. Like just hunt enderman in the desert. That's totally fine. So let's say you have like 12 pearls. That's a lot of pearls. If you don't know, you need 12 eyes of ender to enter the end. We're gonna find the stronghold. If you have time left, this is the most productive thing you can do if you have time left for hunting enderman. This is literally, finding the stronghold is really productive. Because if you find the stronghold, then, I mean, it takes time to find the stronghold. So if you find the stronghold before the night, that's time well spent. Okay, so you see when I throw an eye, it goes in a specific direction. This does not tell me much, right? When I throw one eye, and honestly, I mean, it tells me a lot. Okay, it actually does tell me a lot. But it doesn't tell me exactly where it is. But it does tell me a lot. I know that it's, like, not gonna be anywhere around here. It goes in one direction and one direction only. It tells you a lot, but obviously I don't know where it is. I just know it's in this straight direction. So what we do is you place blocks in a line. In the exact line it goes. Let's say I get disoriented somehow and I don't keep that angle. Like, oh, I lost the angle. I'm disoriented. That's totally fine. I see so many people thinking they have the angle where they don't have the exact angle. So just throw another one and try and keep that angle. What I like to do is look at the horizon and keep a straight line towards the horizon. Just like let your eyes do the work. Like just look at the horizon of where the eye went and then just put blocks towards it. Now the reason why we're placing blocks is because you want to go off the line like this. You want to go off the line. And if it keeps going in that direction, that's fine. But if it went over here, let's say the eye went straight this way, I know that with this line, the stronghold would be right under here. I know it would be right under here if the eye went this way. But it kept going in that direction. So, and if you don't understand, that's fine. We'll keep going. I'll explain it. And I'll explain it in paint. But we're just going to keep going this way. And honestly, when you throw your first eye, the chances of you being close to the stronghold is very, very low. So just keep going for a bit. Like, don't be scared to go for like a couple hundred blocks, like at least, before you throw another eye. Just like keep going. The chances that you're next to the stronghold are very, very low. You want to go out like 1,000 blocks from spawn. If the stronghold's like 1,000 blocks away from spawn, then you know you're getting closer. Alright, let's just throw one. Let's see where it goes. Oh, this is interesting. So it's going back. That's really cool. So we know we passed it. One thing you can do is that it was going north, right? No, it's going south. Sorry, it was going south. The eye was going south. But now I know it's going north. So now we go north. And like, it didn't go south. So now I know we passed it. So that's just something to keep track of, like where you're going. So let's go this way. I honestly did not keep an angle. So let me throw one just to keep an angle. Oh, hey, I passed it again. So we're gonna make a line. Like that. We're gonna go off that line, and the more like off the line you are, the better of an angle you'll get. Like this will give me a really, really good angle. If I was like right here, you probably want to give me a good angle. You want to go far enough where you know it'll give you a better angle. Like, this is good. This is good distance. You want to be like this far, and then it's going over there. And then you see between, it's like between these two blocks. So I know it's right here, and this is where the stronghold is. Now you can take as many eye throws as you want, but generally the less eye throws the better, because I didn't really explain this, but there's a 1 in 5 chance when you throw an eye, it breaks. It's 20%. So the less eyes you throw, the better. I would honestly suggest practicing triangulation to see how many like eyes you're throwing. Like you're not going to be able to find the stronghold with 1 eye or like 2 eyes. 2 eyes is pretty rare. Make sure it's like the best players probably get it around like 3 to 6, like 3 to 5. Any more than that is actually kind of bad. So make sure you're getting like at least 6. Just try and minimize your eye throws. It's a skill that's really rewarding. So, and also the annoying part is terrain. If you're in a mountainous area or if you're in a jungle, it's gonna be much harder to find the stronghold. This was pretty lucky. Like this location here is pretty lucky because it's very flat. And oceans are pretty bad. Okay, so I think most people probably get the idea of triangulation, but if not, that's okay. So this is you. This is you. You're a red person. And if you throw an eye, let's say you throw an eye, it goes this way. This line is exact, by the way. When you throw an eye, it's exact to where the stronghold goes. It goes this way. You know what? It keeps going. It goes for a while. This is the stronghold. Let's say you're placing blocks, so the blue indicates blocks. This is where like the potential of the stronghold could be. But let's say you're bad and like you lose the angle and you go off like this. Or something like that, I don't know. But anyway, it doesn't matter too much. You go off that line, then it goes this way. And then you place blocks. You want to keep that angle as much as you can. Let's say you're a god. Let's say you just keep on going and going and going. You're just a god at keeping angles. Then you go off that line, you're here. Then Shazam. It goes over your path. You know it's there. You have a good idea that it's there. The stronghold's there. It goes over your blocks, and you use your blocks as triangulation. You know that it's there. Just know that, like, it's really, really, really hard to keep an angle for very far. It's not easy. It took me a long time to get good at this, trust me. But it's really, really rewarding. There's nothing better than clutching out a stronghold find. Like, just finding a stronghold. The blues are blocks. The black line is where the eye is going towards. This is the stronghold. You don't know that that's the stronghold, but that's where the stronghold is. You don't know that it's there. You're using the blocks as an angle to figure that out. So you go off the angle, you throw an eye, and if it goes over the blocks, then you go to the stronghold. But, so I threw an eye here, right? I was here, and I threw an eye, and it didn't go over the path. It kept going that way. So I knew the stronghold still went that way. I can't explain it any better. If you don't understand, rewatch, keep trying. I believe in you. We're gonna dig down, and this is where the stronghold's gonna be. Because I was really, really precise. It was like, I was really safe. You can be as safe. If you're a beginner, try and be safe with your eye throws as much as you can. I try to make sure you're confident. And that just comes with practice, but just make sure you're confident with where the stronghold is. Note, in this version, 1.7, the eye always takes you to the portal room. There's an asterisk on that, but it's not too important. Just know that usually it'll take you to that. Most of the time, you're gonna get sent here. So, in this particular case, this is what's gonna happen most of the time, but I don't have enough pearls. And when you don't have enough pearls, you need to take into account what time it is. Like, what's your time? Is it daytime? Is it nighttime? Because you wanna adjust based on that. So, if it's daytime, the best thing I can do right now is look in the stronghold, and I'll do that later in a second. We're not gonna do that, but let's say it's nighttime, and the best way I can get pearls is during the nighttime. The chances of getting pearls is better if you're hunting endermen than going in the stronghold. All right, how do I get back? Well, this is what you do. So you want to make a portal, right? This is what you do. You break 2 blocks. What I like to do is 2 blocks from this, and then 2 blocks like that. That's all you need to do. Just break 2 blocks and then place water like that, above like that. Just make sure it's above the 2 blocks. And then you make a portal. You just fill it in. And then what you can do, you get rewarded if you were accurate with your thing. Because you get rewarded because you can place water like this. So when you come back, you just fall in the water, and yeah. You don't have to worry about that. Although be aware that you don't have water now. So we're gonna go through the portal. Aha, and it'll take us back to where we made the portal. I think this was okay, so I think I like cheated. 99% of the time, it'll take you to your portal that you last made. If you're a beginner, 99% of the time, the portal that you make is gonna be in the desert, because finding lava pools is most common in deserts. I didn't really mention this, but in the nighttime you want to be looking for lava, and it's really easy to find lava in a desert during the nighttime because it's so bright. So just keep in mind, in the nighttime you want to find lava. If you water bucket up, it's really, really slow. It's like stupidly slow. So now it's nighttime and you can hunt enderman. Let's say my portal was like right here or something, and then I'd be in the desert hunting enderman. But the thing you need to know is, where's your stronghold? You really want to make sure you know where the stronghold is. If you do second day nether, like you probably should if you're a beginner, then it shouldn't be hard to know where your stronghold is. Just keep in mind of where your stronghold is. Don't lose this. If you want, you can do this. Make a big tower. You can make a big tower like this. The chances of you losing your tower is going to be pretty rare. And also you can just use your blocks like as breadcrumbs. You know, like when you're using blocks to like triangulate the stronghold, you can just use the blocks that you were using to triangulate as breadcrumbs. And then you just fall in the water. That's the best part about this, is that you come back with pearls. Dude, there's nothing better than just like having all your pearls. You know you have all your pearls, and then you just feel like I don't know, like an 80s superstar, just jumping down. Just knowing there's water at the bottom, and then just jumping down and feeling good. And then if you have enough pearls, you can do this. So what if it's daytime? If it was at night and it's daytime, the best thing you can do is look in the stronghold. Strongholds are a bit interesting. There's never more than 4 chests. There's a maximum of 4 chests. There can be less chests. There can be 1 chest. There can be 2 chests. There can be 3 chests. But there's never more than 4. Oh my gosh. Alright, so chests have a chance of having pearls. This would be really, really clutch, actually. I'm not gonna go over like the item, like the loot the loots or whatever. Like, but the important part is that there's ender pearls. That's important. That's the most important part. So I don't know the exact probability of like pearls in a stronghold. All I know is that there's gonna be at least one ender pearl in a chest, in all 4 chests. Like 1 pearl per stronghold essentially. What I like to do is when I checked a chest and I've taken all the items that I wanted from it, place a block over it so you know you already have checked that chest. So I already know I've checked this because I have a block over it. And then what we want to do is you can do the fortress strat like what I showed earlier. So I know that I've already been here and there's nothing here. There's literally, this is a dead end, right? So I place a block in the middle like that to indicate that I've already been over there and there's nothing left for me over there. This is where I came from. I place a block on the side to indicate that that's where I go. And this is nothing. This is nothing right here. So I'm gonna cross that out. Nothing. This is where I came from, so place a block on the side. This is very beginner, by the way. Like, do this if you're a beginner, or you can do a variation of this. I came from here, so I place a block on the side like that. Let's just say I checked this area. Let's say nothing was there. Place a block like that. Like, you understand? Let's say I came from there. Place a block on the side. That's something you can do. Like, that's what I do. That's especially what I did when I was a beginner. It's just way easier to memorize things. Like, the better you get, the more you do this category, you'll be able to like remember where you came from easier. But just do that as a beginner. There could be 3 more chests. Like I said, there's 4 chests per stronghold. Also, keep in mind, so you see these impasses? This is called an impasse, like a room. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 places you can go in these impasses, but the thing is that there could be hidden rooms. So let's dig. There's no hidden room, but there can just be hidden rooms sometimes. But there were no hidden rooms there. Just keep that in mind while you're doing impasses. If you're trying to find chests and you know that there could still be chests, like say if you found 2 chests and you think you checked everywhere in a fortress or sorry, a stronghold, mine like in one of these places, because you might be able to like find like another part of this stronghold. Because like keep in mind, we've looked at the code. We looked up the code of this freaking game, like how strongholds generate. We don't know why that's the case still. We don't know why this happens. We don't know why there could just be a room right here that's hidden by this. We don't know why. This could be how it could be like. I would have to like dig and find this room like this. Like this could happen. Like I don't know why. This is the start of the fortress. This is where the fortress starts. This room. This is the beginning part. So it's in every single fortress, like the beginning room. And you can tell that's the beginning room if it's a staircase and it leads to nothing. So this is the beginning of the fortress. This is important to know because the spawner room will always be at least 5 blocks away from this. Or not blocks, 5 rooms, sorry. It would always be 5 rooms away from here, like the portal room. It'll always be 5 rooms. 1, 2, this is a room. 3, I think this is 4. Or what? 4, 3, 4, 5. 5 rooms. It'll be not always 5 rooms. It'll be at least 5 rooms away from that room. It's just something to keep in mind. So for a beginner, you may be asking, okay, well, how many pearls do I get? How many rods do I get? How do I know how many of that to get? Well, it's RNG, right? For a beginner, though, I would suggest getting 7 rods. If you don't know a rod, meaning 2 blaze powder, so that's 14 blaze powder. And then for pearls, literally, get like at most or at least 12 before you look for the stronghold. So you have like 2 nights. If you're a beginner in this category and you don't know how many pearls to get, like get 12, but you always want to make sure you're maximizing the amount of nighttime you're using. You never want to waste nighttime. If you need pearls, always make sure you're using nighttime to get pearls. Don't waste nighttime at all. That's why I don't recommend doing first day nether, because the chances a beginner is gonna get out before night is so low. You want to maximize the amount of pearls that you can get. There's never a dull moment in this category. I always want to be maximizing your time. Essentially, you want to find the stronghold during the 2nd day or the 3rd day. If you don't have time to find it in the 2nd day, do it in the 3rd day. There's also the chance that you don't even have time in the 3rd day. You can also do it in the 4th day. Because what if your nether sucks? Like, what if you have to spend your 3rd day in the nether? That could happen if you're a beginner. Just know that as a beginner, it'll probably take you like 3 to 4 nights to like get all your pearls. Unless you're doing tower, which I'll talk about in the video. The cool thing about finding the stronghold, like if you find the stronghold and you find the portal room, you know how much you need. And knowing how much pearls you need is like really, really good. That's really, really useful info. Because then you can just like count down how many pearls you need. So you don't waste any time like hunting enderman you don't need to hunt. Now we're going to talk about the end. Alright, so just know that there's 2 ways you can enter the end. Oh, make sure you have beds, bows, arrows. Like I said earlier, beds, bows, arrows. Make sure you have, if you're a beginner, I suggest getting like a stack of arrows or something like that. If you're a beginner, get like at least 6 beds. So we have our bed, boat, arrows. We know we're ready. Things that are really useful, water. If you look at an enderman, just place water below you. They'll de-aggro. Make sure you have a good amount of blocks. Don't forget blocks. I've done that recently. Food, of course, and then swords, not necessary, but I like to have a sword. This is all you need, really. There's another way you can enter the end. You can have an extra pearl. Now, an extra pearl can be useful. Let's see if it's useful. Find out. So the reason why the pearl is useful is because there's like a couple ways you can spawn in the end. Okay, so this is a sky spawn where having a pearl is really, really useful because you can just throw a pearl and then you're on the thing. That saves a lot of time. Having an extra pearl for that is really useful. You can also spawn underground, and that's why you need the pickaxe. Like, that's the reason for having a pickaxe, is in case you spawn underground. And if you spawn underground, what you want to do is just dig straight up. Like, dig straight up and block straight up. That's all you do. If you think the dragon's coming towards you, or you hear the dragon coming towards you while you're digging up, just right click. So you take less damage. You take a lot less damage if you right click your sword in this version. So now this is the fight. You want to destroy all the crystals, if not most of them. You definitely want to destroy all the ones that, like, at least in the center, right? So you gotta watch out for the dragon. Dragon can be so mean, but this literally just requires having good aim. You just aim. I honestly don't even suggest, like, building up to a tower. Like, this is why you need lots of arrows if you're a beginner. Like, there's not really a backup. There is one backup. If you run out of arrows, bring a fishing rod. A fishing rod's actually a good backup. Let's say I run out of arrows. Let's pretend I have no arrows. I can just build up and then fishing rod it. So I don't have to go directly on the tower. So you need, like, blocks to do this. That should be good, yeah, and you can just use fishing rod. That's like the only backup I'd recommend. If you run out of arrows, you run out of arrows. Like, good luck. That's what you really can't run out of arrows. The best thing you can do is just get a fishing rod. Do the fight. Or let's just get all these crystals first. Alright, so all the crystals are gone, right? That's good. So now I'll show you how to do bed heads. I'm not gonna do it just yet. So that's what you want, though. You want the dragon to charge straight at you. The bed explosion comes from this side, right here. This is where the explosion comes from. What you want to do is you can place a block here or here. It doesn't matter too much. But basically you want to hide this block, or this block blocks that explosion from that side. So keep that in mind. So you'll see if the dragon charges me. You see how the bed did, like, no damage? Or it did no damage to me. It did a lot of damage to the dragon. It did, like, barely did any damage to me. See, like, look how much damage it does to me. It did nothing. Oh my gosh, the dragon is just charging at me. Hog you. But the timing of the bed is just something you have to get used to. I will note that when you right click a bed, it is an instant. It doesn't blow up instantly. I think it's like a couple ticks or something. The delay is enough for you to mess up, so you just gotta get the timing down of the bed. Oh, something really important to note is that whenever the dragon takes damage, it has a 1 in 4 chance of charging you. So if you want the dragon to charge you and it's clearly not charging you, just hit it and then I'll have a 1 in 4 chance of charging you. And you want to, like, keep your distance from the dragon so you get a good angle on the bed. You don't want to be, like, directly under the dragon, or you don't want to be too far from the dragon, because if you're too far from the dragon, then it could be tough to get a good angle. But if you're too close to the dragon, then there's no angle exists, really. So let's just wait till it attacks us. Okay, it's too high. The dragon wasn't charging, but even if the dragon was charging, that was too high. You see how I went backwards? The dragon's dead, by the way. We did it. You saw how I, like, went backwards? That was because the angle on the dragon wasn't that good. I went back a bit to, like, fix my angle. Even though the dragon was clearly charging me, I still went back. Yeah, then this is the end portal, and it's pretty easy. I guess just note that this can spawn from, like, below in the ground to, like, really high up. I like to be under the dragon's death animation, and then just build like 3, 4, 5 blocks up, and then it takes 10 seconds for the dragon to die, like the death animation. But yeah, that's it. That's my RSG tutorial. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. So I'm gonna talk about one thing. I pretty much went over this run in the context of you doing like a no reset run. I highly suggest for your runs, don't reset, just try your best to keep the run going. If you didn't really understand what I was talking about in the context of a run, that's understandable. Like, it's not really easy to put like all of what I just said into a run, like in the context of a run. But what you can do, if I wasn't really clear, he's a really good runner, and he has a lot of no reset runs. So I'd recommend subscribing to Taro Kitchen and then just looking at his no reset runs, because Taro's honestly the king of just like no reset runs. He's very consistent. He's probably the most consistent runner. So you see how he didn't do first day nether, and he did nether on the second day. And see, this is important. Like, he has time. This nether was so fast. He had like a 5-minute nether, and he's out of the nether. And it's not nighttime, so he can't find pearls. So since he has nothing productive to do, he looks for the stronghold. Did he go in the Stronghold? Yeah, he goes in the Stronghold. This is what I was talking about, guys. This is a live example of what I was talking about earlier. He enters the Stronghold, and he doesn't really have time to look in the Stronghold. It's like a couple minutes. So the most protective thing he could have done, he didn't have enough pearls, so the most productive thing he could have done is make a portal. The portal took him to the overworld, and now it's nighttime. Now he can get more pearls. So if you want to see like how you do no reset runs, is watch Tarot Kitchen. He has really, really informative runs. You can learn a lot just by watching. So anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I mean, that's the tutorial, I think.